I just want to make a quick point here this morning. Again, this article is from the most recent issue of Science News, and it's all about DNA analysis and tracing of the DNA and culture and language that may have gone along with these migrations from the Middle East to the Near East and countries like Pakistan and India. But look at the assumptions that are made here. DNA analysis is suggesting, they say, that this particular people group reached parts of the early Bronze Age Europe by 5,000 years ago. So how do they know? I mean, they write this down, and then everybody says, "Oh yeah, that's it. We got it. We locked in. We got it in stone." Suggested, people in the field of biomolecules and molecular biology and the dating using things like that, they know that they're guesstimating the mutation rate or the changes, any kind of changes, genetic drift changes, even codon changes. They look at how different the DNA is in a people group, and they guesstimate how long it would take for natural processes over the generations to make them that different from each other. And that's nice, and that's a it's a nice inference, but people in the field know it's an inference. And if you'll look down below here, the quote from University of Michigan, from Ann Arbor, you'll see that people in the field realize that these are guesses. But then these things get published as though it's some sort of a genetic clock that is accurate. It's not, and I don't mind. I mean, hey, they could be right, but they're telling everyone that they are, and everyone just believes it. Again, data, these finds, DNA says 14,000 to 2,000 years ago. The genetic evidence says 5,000 years ago. But this is all stuff that's done by a bunch of inferences. And I got to get myself, here we are. And this is not empirical. This is guesstimated. So they say, well, there's no genetic trace of Near Eastern farmers in the people in Iran and Turkmenistan in this time period here. They give actual years and ranges of years based on the guesstimate. So they put an equal sign after a guess variable, and then they say, everyone just swallows that we're just right. So you know what? The people in the actual research field doing this kind of work know that's guesstimates, and they are constantly looking for little signs that their guesstimates are wrong so they can adjust it. Meanwhile, people who publish this stuff secondhand and go with the data secondhand just say it's done. We know. The people who are actually in the know realize these are guesstimates, and based on many assumptions that can't be proven and have nothing to do with the scientific method of inquiry. But then these secondary sources and tertiary sources all just quote this stuff like they found a tombstone in a graveyard that gives the date someone died and lived, and it's really not like that. So don't be like the lemming herd that's following whatever some scientist with a PhD drops from their wonderful lips and words of truth. You keep thinking. Dr. J.